everybody, welcome to the show. It's been a couple of months since we have had our wonderful community managers join us on board this wild ride that we called the development of Ember Sword and the upkeep of you guys, our wonderful community. So, since it's been a couple of months, I wanted to get both of our lovely community managers on the show so they can share their opinions, their thoughts, their impressions, their everything about what it's like working with the community. So, say hi, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Hi there.
We have Thor, we have Katrine, and this is going to be their show, continuing sort of the trend of the past couple of episodes where this is a group therapy session. I want to give them a platform to just, like I said, share their experiences.
This is a therapy session for the friendly neighborhood community team.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And our therapist, Svetlin.
Yeah, I really should look at, I've been talking about potentially doing some sort of, this is neither here nor there, but I really want to like do some type of psychology course because I feel like I would be very good at doing that.
I would love it.
I like people. Anyway, speaking of past experiences, I want to start off with getting you guys' past experience in community management alongside some anecdotes if you're comfortable in sharing those. Let's start with Katrine. Yeah. Okay, anecdotes.
Yeah, I've been gaming MMOs ever since I can remember, and I've been a guild leader and a guild director for many games, setting them up on Discord and setting up on Skype back in the day, and even TeamSpeak. I'm an oldie with the MMOs. And before I got here to Ember Sword, I was working as a head moderator and event coordinator for another game, a pet simulator game. And I was in charge of doing questions of the day. So all the community members, they could ask a question and I would connect it to a bot and that would post it in that channel. So it would be looking like our mascot would be asking these questions. And I have been doing doodles of the week where I take a doodle prompt and the people have to create whatever they felt like from this sentence or word. And I've been doing like anniversary event, like a Halloween event and Pride Month and a Midsummer event where people had to do creative things where, they had to either dress up their pets or they had to make a summer bouquet or they had to write a specific story for the summer solars and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what I've been doing in the volunteer aspect and community management aspect. Like I said, it's been on a volunteer basis. So it's been in a very smaller community than what we have here. We have had around 3,000 people, and now it just we are way past that number now. Yeah. So it was something I had to get used to coming over here.
Was the adjustment difficult?
Yeah, a little bit at first. Because like I said, there's so many people, there's always someone around seeing what you're doing, what you're saying. And because, we had this part, we were officially hires, so people would be paying more attention to what you were doing than, on a volunteer basis where, we are basically on the same level as everyone on the server. We just had the ability to, to ban and kick people. And I was the head moderator, so yeah, I would help the new moderators figure out what to do and how to handle this situation. And I would be doing the events, so we would have something to do on the community. But else, it was very slow, very silent, and people wouldn't really do as many things unless someone would go in and poke them like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And "Hey, I have this event. Like, see this, do this, have fun." Yeah. So yeah, it was some adjustment.
Some tiny. Thor, what about you?
Oh, are you ready?
Lay it on me.
Now I hype myself so much. I've been in community management for, if you counted for not only like game communities and online fostering online communities, I've been in community management for a long time, more than a decade, and it probably started with like me being very interested in just generally fostering communities of people in LARPing, in role-playing, in book reading, in writing. In everything I had a passion for, I initially just organically had a passion for fostering other people's passion for it as well, if that makes sense. And fostering circles and communities for this, and it quickly turned into like study jobs and spare time hobbies. So whenever I transitioned into really big knee surgery I had 10 years ago, I circled into something more internet based and something more game based, and I came into esports, and I became very interested in fostering communities in esports and in coaching. And then whenever that turned into game development and education level and degrees, that started fostering more into game communities and Discord communities. I were a part of Discord from the get-go and really loved Discord when it came out. So for me, fostering communities is in some ways the same, whether it has something to do with games or doesn't have anything to do with games. But work-wise, community management-wise in games, I won't tell the games for now, but I have worked on at least one also decently big game. Nothing like Ember, but nothing really is like Ember, right? I specialize mostly in post-release management of communities. So it is actually interesting for me to get this job because it is very much not post-release, right? But the interesting about this project is that it feels a little bit like it sometimes, because what you really want to do in post-release is maintain hype, right, and maintain communication and grow communities. Not grow it from the get-go, but grow the end of the community, the transition of the community into something more. And we kind of already have that now, before we have even released the game, because of how we have done things, right? We have this big community already. There's a lot of people gathered, a lot of opinions, a lot of passion, a lot of energy, and the game isn't even out yet. You can't even play the game, right? Mm-hmm. So it's in some twisted ways, it actually draws a lot of the same energies and hype maintenance and community fostering maintenance that comes after you have released the game as well. So in some ways it's been very difficult for me, but in some ways it's also been like an experience of like, this makes sense. I can draw on this, and I can build on this, and I can use this from my past experiences. I don't know about anecdotes. I I have a thing I have picked up here in Ember where I like to say that community is a wave, right? And I don't really know about the whole whether Bright Star Studios is then a beach, but the way I like to say it is like community is something you ride. You don't fight it. Community is a wave, is a force, is a natural force of incredible power. It's basically human people coming together, realizing how much power they have, and we have power in all aspects of our life and in all aspects of the world if we were to take this power, right? And community is essentially taking this power. I don't know, right now I shouldn't be telling the community how much power they have, should I? But essentially, I want to serve the community. I don't want to fight the community. I want to serve it. And then I don't know whether it's the community that's serving on us that's serving on the community, but I want to use the power that is generated. I don't want to try and fight it, because I think that's stupid in some ways. I don't know if that's an anecdote, but that's the best I have.
It's an analogy more so than an anecdote,
yeah,
but it works very well for the context of the podcast. It gives you a very good insight into your state of mind and your approach to it, which I believe is the correct one, because, I mean, I'm very biased. I like you a lot, so...
Oh, no.
There is that. This is going to turn into another bro love session.
Oh, man, I'm just in the way. I'll just leave you guys to it there.
You're an honorary bro.
Is Catherine the therapist here? No, I will say, like, some keynotes for me in community management in the past has been toxicity. Mm-hmm. It's something that I was really focused on in esports, and something I was really focused on in my past community management job, and it is something I'm continuously focused on. I like passion, and I think a lot of toxicity comes from passion, if not almost all of it. And there's a lot of passion in the game industry, and that's really what drives me. And I believe as long as the toxicity is coming from a passion standpoint, you can fix it. And I really try to fix toxicity in sometimes a unique way. I have had moderators on my past teams who ended up being some of the best moderators I've ever had, only surpassed by the moderate team I have now, of course. But they started out, one of them actually started out being one of the most toxic members of the past community I was in. really toxic, really good at the game. So we couldn't ignore him because he was the best of the best in most of the matches. But he transcended into something truly unique. And I could trust him because I knew where he came from. I knew he had been on a journey. I knew he had been toxic. He could talk to the people. He understood it. He understood that you don't hit them with a hammer. Like you understand where it comes from, right? So toxicity is a very strong keyword for me. It's not as big a problem in our community. We have a really amazing community, but there are always elements of it whenever there's passion involved, right? I could talk of this forever. Sorry, guys.
That's kind of the point. I mean, let's get into the community proper then. You guys transformed the way our community facing initiatives looked. Can you go into, the Ember Sword community proper, the structure you chose, the hierarchy, the culture, the quirks, whatever you tickles your fancy?
I think I'll start on this, Catherine, and then you can. Yeah. So a lot of these things were kind of decided before us, right? There are some structural elements that are decided before us. This idea, which is a general good idea, that you have like a lead, senior community managers, junior community managers. They combine this community management team, which is essentially the bridge between Bright Star Studio and the moderators, right? Sometimes directly the bridge between Bright Star Studio and the community, and sometimes just the bridge between the Bright Star Studios and the moderator team, right? And then the moderator team is then a bridge between the community management and the community. And on the moderator team, of course, it's only fairly usual in some degree. We have a head moderator, right? The Empress, we could call her. That would be very valid. Yeah, exactly. We have a list of very, very skilled moderators, and we are lucky to have moderators who are focusing on the specific areas, right, as well. And we have a valid range of areas in our moderation team. And then we have, you could call them junior moderators, but then we have the helpers, right? And it stops there from the staff view, but heroes, of course, are candidates from the community, which is not part of the staff, but they just is so exemplary in their values and their individuality also, right? That they are a spark, a beacon for the community, right? And we talked a lot about that in the beginning, Catherine. You were actually one of the. Not that I think not anybody ever thought the idea of having community heroes, but I remember you having conversation to me about this. I don't know if you've had it in the past, but it's not something I directly had in the previous community. I thought it was a really good idea.
Yeah, it's something I've had some experience with before, where we had seen, in the communities that we have people that, would do a big effort. They weren't part of the staff, but they would still be a big effort to, the members in the community, and people would know their names, but some of them didn't want to have the responsibility of being on the staff, but they still, wanted to help and be part of everything and help. And I'm repeating myself, but help and be part of things and show people a good time and make sure everyone is comfortable around here. So, we found these small appreciation role where we actually gave people, specific knickknacks on their name on the Discord server we were on. And, that's a thing I carried over here. Like, hey, what about doing something like this so we can actually show them and appreciate them? And it was also our moderators who also made us aware that, hey, we have these specific people who are very active in our community. They help everyone, if it's game or if it's crypto related or just in general, bringing the good vibe onto the server. We really want to show them some appreciation because they're doing a heckin' good job, carrying everyone and making sure people are happy on the community. Because we are in the process of developing the game, but we still have a very, very large of community people who are waiting together, helping each other, and just sitting around and waiting for, whenever we go super live. So it was something that, it was a joint force from past experience and from suggestions our mods and our community staff made for us when we first joined.
I don't know if anybody is interested in this, but I'll give a very, very brief breakdown of how we structure some of these things. Then I guess this is where you can go to the toilet if you think that management is very, very boring. But
this is Thor's thing. He loves management. Yeah. Just go with it.
So essentially, my philosophy about management is that it's pretty stupid. It's called management because you don't manage people. Nobody wants to be managed. There might be people who want to manage people, but nobody wants to be managed, essentially. Management is about talking to people, right? And it's about listening. And we have one mouth and we have 2 ears for a reason, right? Think about that. So sometimes you need to listen double as much as you're talking. And that essentially is a lot of management. But essentially what we have tried to create is a management team where we talk to each other a lot. We talk to each other a lot. We have a lot of structure, but we also just communicate a lot. Because if we continue with the analogy, thank you, that it is a wave, right? You need to be constantly in touch with this wave. And you need to be constantly in touch with each other to be able to understand it and react to the wave. And I think what is so brilliantly perfect about community management for me and my passion about it is how you need to react to community, but you also need to be proactive. You need to look forward and see the waves coming, but you should still be reacting to the wave that is currently on you, right? Now it's getting very deep into the analogy. But so basically you should be able to react to things that is immediate, but you should also not lose sight on what's coming towards you. And I think that's really what I love. And we have tried to create this structure where through proper structured meetings, through stand-ups and what we use is called a Kanban board, and throughout mod meetings as well, and regular meetings with the community and the inner part of the community, right? Which essentially is reflecting the larger part of the community, all the way out to the outer ripples of the community, right? We maintain this balance of reacting to things. Catherine and I, we catch a lot of the things. We might not always do them immediately, but that's because we also have to look proactively, right? So it's a balance of reacting to stuff, catching the stuff, remembering the stuff, putting it into some kind of structure, and also planning for the future, because you can't stay reactive. Then you have a community that might, from a management perspective, been standing still, right? So, which we are not, absolutely not.
No, not at all.
So it's like this balance of things, and I know amazing community managers. We haven't perfected it at all. I know amazing community managers who have a problem sometimes, sometimes you're too proactive and the community is like, why don't you catch these things? That's maybe because you're planning too much and you don't stay in touch with the community. And then sometimes you are too reactive and sometimes you realize you have fixed a lot of the things, but you are not looking forward, right? You're not seeing what's coming. Is there even worse weather ahead? Is there a sunny day coming, right? Is there a good time coming? So you haven't looked ahead. Okay, now you can return from the bathroom. I'm done.
But that's the thing. The community never sleeps. So, we do try to catch all the things we see. But we are only human. We can only be awake a specific time of the day. And we do need sleep, else we can't perform our task good.
Confirmed. And, we are humans. Only one of us is a god, and he's not here.
The great internal Bright Star Studios lore.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted to ask if all those initiatives, all that structure that you introduced, has that made the workload manageable for you guys? Because I was just curious whether, because at least from my perspective, it seems that everything that you've done has made the community feel more active than ever before. And I just wanted to know if that has made it, an effort that can be balanced against all your other duties.
So, there are elements to it. I'm thinking what we can say here. So we're not a young company, but in some aspects we are a very young company, right? And we are a growing company. So there are some internal aspects where I wouldn't say necessarily we are learning, even though that wouldn't be wrong, but we are growing, right? We're growing fast. The game is growing fast. We are growing fast. The community is growing fast. And when everything is growing fast, there will always be, sometimes you need to stop and think, and there'll be times where you're sprinting, right?
Yeah.
But essentially, this is a marathon. And so it is manageable to a point where we are looking at ways to make it even more manageable, because we have realized, very luckily, that this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. There might be a couple of sprints in it, but it's a marathon essentially. And that doesn't mean that we're going to spend an eternity making the game. It just means that we are creating something big and massive and legendary, and it isn't created overnight. So it is a marathon in the way that we need to. I have been a good runner before the so-called knee surgery I talked about when I was in good shape back in the days, and I have run half marathons, but not full marathons, and I know that if you don't plan for a marathon, it doesn't go very well, unless you are God, maybe. So essentially, so it is very manageable. And when it isn't manageable, it's never because of the community. It's more because of internal processes that is just getting better, right?
Yeah.
I think that's my point of it. Yeah.
Katrine, do you share that view, or do you have anything to add?
Yeah,
to
I
that
mean,
perspective?
I haven't, like I said, I haven't been on, officially hired as a community manager before. So, like, I'm learning and seeing how Thor are doing things, and he is the senior on.
Oh no, that's bad.
team.
No, just kidding.
He is the senior, so no, he has a lot more insight on these things, and he know where we have to go on and start on things, and I'm learning as well as we join and go on. So yeah,
I'm an old soul on the inside, everybody. I'm very old soul on the inside.
very much.
So you're like fine wine. You're seasoned.
I'm a fine seasoned wine fusion with a hobbit. Like, I really just want to go to my listen. So I really, I don't know where the wine is, but coming to the hobbit, but probably they didn't drink wine, right?
Sure.
A hobbit goes out into the community, right? And hobbits are a lot about communities, I would imagine. Thank you, Tolkien, for using hobbits. But at the end of the day,
Shout out to J.R. Tolkien.
Shout out to Tolkien. Why not?
J.R. Tolkien, not too much. Just wanna...
Yeah, he'll hear it from beyond the grave. So I'll like every good hobbit, except for those few in the movies. I like to just go home to my hobbit house and stay inside, and make some good food and just be an old hobbit that just rests. So he goes out into the hobbit society again, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like a hobbit. I'm the one that likes to go traveling and talk with people, but I recharge my batteries in my little hobbit house.
This has been so full of analogies. we got waves, we got hobbits. What we can go even more copyright infringy if you want. I could just play some licensed music under this whole thing.
Yes.
I mean, it might as well go all the way. Now we started.
What was the statute of limitations? 2 seconds? I could probably get some Kickstart My Heart in here for no apparent reason. This is gonna be an awful segue. Do you guys have any fun community stories that you would like to share?
Do you want to kick off, Kevin?
Yeah, that was fun for actually too for Athenabus Cups in connection to the clue points, because I've been the one creating the clue points, setting up in the integrated template and posting them to the community. And for our second event, we had the design an item, and I can't remember it word by word, but I remembered that I wrote something that it's purple, it's spiky, and people were like, what on earth is she on about? And then they figured, it could be a porcupine, or it could be like a purple hat with many spikes. And people already, before the competition had even started, they just took their ideas and created cards and creative ideas and edits on pictures. It was very wholesome to see, okay, let's go. And another connection to the clue points was, for a famous meme competition where I accidentally named the clue point meme, and our very, very fast and sneaky community people, they saw it and they were like, was this meant to be or not? And
it's so meta in a way. I love how it actually confused them, because it is so meta to call it.
Exactly. So they ran with it, and they were some of the entries were also involved around this clue point, with the groove template, we make this competition, we call it this, we call it meme. Oh no, we call it meme. So people could guess it. But then I figured okay, so people are not only reading the clue point, that they're actually reading the file name as well. How can I go with this? And what I did is I just took that idea and I ran with it myself. So, I named one of them, the All-Star song, where I wrote somebody once told me, and I wrote so many other things. And one of the other clue points were, that
good stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to see DM in a whisker suit, and some people saw it and they were talking about it on the server. That was very, very fun.
Everything is planned, even if it isn't planned. That's what I'm getting out of this.
Yeah, exactly. And then I also just remembered one thing at my other volunteer, work. I wasn't the oldest on the server, but I was always the one carrying for people and helping people and do all these kind of things. So they would call me mom, or they would call me like cinnamon roll. And then at some point,
be careful now, Catherine, because
Yeah,
they will hear it and they
I
will
know.
call you. Yeah.
I know. And then,
Be
at
careful.
some point on the server here, I saw that one of our moderators were like, petition to call Healy Catty mom. I'm like, wait, what? No.
It's happening again.
What's happening? So it was a fun little thing that carried over here. And, I do try to be as positive and productive as I can. And like I said, I don't have a lot of experience as Thor have, but that's the good thing. I can learn from him, and we talk a lot about these things. And he not only he has the final say, but he will listen to, okay, what are your thoughts on this? And he will listen to, our community god Constantine, like, what are your thoughts on this? Can we talk and find a solution on this? And he's also listening to our community and listening to our staff a lot. So that's something personally I'm learning a lot from. So it's a fun little thing. I not like kind of community aspect, but more like a little fun thing for myself in connection to learning and growing in this role, because it is so new. And I was so afraid of doing things at first. Like the first 3 months, I was so nervous and I couldn't do anything. I was, oh my God, is this okay to say? Is this okay to do? But Thor, he was like, shh, calm down. You're doing good. Okay.
Calm down. All right. Well, I can say it never stops being frightening the first time you do this stuff. But yeah, of course it helps. It helps you control the nerves. But first time you introduce yourself to a massive community, it never stops being scary. I don't think it should. It's a healthy element of the nerves and the fear factor is healthy for almost every job, right? As long as it's a healthy element of it.
That shows you care.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, those were so funny things, especially the meme competition, how meta they were. Like, they took the memes and they made memes on the meme competition and they made memes on the previous competitions. And how lucky are we that we hosted the meme competition before the chess tournament? I'm just saying. That is probably... and I don't,
cut this out,
I don't need to say any more than that, because that would have been disastrous.
Yeah.
All right. In many ways, probably, that we can't even imagine. But wow, a good meme competition. And shout out to the Edicians or Edicians. We're still debating how to pronounce that. If another god is out there, then please tell me how to pronounce that. But shout out to them for winning the meme competition. I believe they won it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Yeah. And all right. So what I really think is funny, and of course it isn't funny, but in hindsight it's funny, right?
Okay,
yeah, it isn't funny because it's about
you are
land
just
sale.
full of surprises this podcast, man. I have no idea where you're going in half of this.
So it isn't funny because it's dead serious, right? It's land sales, so it isn't funny. That's what I'm saying. It isn't funny. Yeah, it's dead serious, but in hindsight it can be a little bit funny. So community-wise, of course, technical-wise, it's not funny at all. But community-wise, I think it is, as I said, it's nerve-breaking in the moment. But in hindsight, it's so funny to see the reactions of the community. Like, obviously, when something is wrong, for example, launched, whenever the community landscape wasn't launched, because I wasn't part of that, but whenever they could go buy the plots, right, and the badges, instantly there was something wrong, right, and instantly because the chat will explode.
Yeah.
And you will know, not necessarily what is wrong, unless you have like a really good hog eye to see that the 1 or 2 or 3 people actually posting what's wrong, but you will know something is wrong. It's a storm, right? Suddenly out of a clear blue sky. And that's obviously not funny. But what's funny is seeing when it starts turning, like when it starts working again. And there's still people typing, just exploding. And somebody's typing, hey, guy, it works. And somebody's still typing, it doesn't work. And somebody's typing, but it works. And suddenly it's like 1 or 2 who got through and they're like, it works. And then suddenly people are like, yeah, okay, it works. And then
chaos.
And then everything just changes. It's like a stampede and suddenly they start turning. And what I think is really funny back then was I remember Lauren and the rest of us on the call. We were
The
not
appropriately
thinking.
named War Council.
Yeah, I probably
The
named
eternal
War
call
Council.
is named War Council. Yes.
It was dead serious. But afterwards, when we like canceled the meeting and everything was fixed, and it was heavenly. Of course, it was really funny to remember that one guy, and I don't remember his name, guy or girl that wrote, "I don't want freaking lands, I want batches," and he kept typing it. "I want batches, bring me batches. I don't want land, bring me," and he just kept writing it. And that was the only thing he had to say. I was like, "Give me those batches." I hope he got a badge. I hope he got a badge.
Me too.
Yeah.
It was
Man.
like, I was just imagining like throwing land at him. "Stop giving me land. I want
I don't
badges."
want this. Give me a badge.
Dalcor Katana just being like, "Here's the land.
No.
Take it."
You take this land. Shut up.
I think that was hilariously funny in the hindsight, but of course it was. I hope he got badge. I really hope he got a badge. That's what I'm saying. I also hope he got some land. Like it's fine. He probably wants the land as well. I don't know. I really like the. It's also a little bit about my past communities, but what I really like about Game Master name is the GM, right? And in my part, they've started doing it here, but in my past community, they did a lot of, memes about me. Of course, always my hammer, right? Because my name is Thor. And then good meme, like, is it Game Master? Is it a good meme? He hammered somebody, he banned somebody, good meme. Good morning memes were also made, like, Game Master hammering somebody, good morning. Like, and the GM, I really love that. They have started to do that here, and I think that's funny. They can do that. I think it's cute.
It's a weird, like, trickle down thing. Not trickle down. It just carries over. It's like universal. It follows you through life.
Yeah.
You have auras.
I think some of our community members, as what I can recall, they were playing around with your name, and someone said, GM, good meme as well.
Yeah, it's I love it, and it is a good meme, and it is also a good morning. It is everything you want it to be.
Exactly. Positive vibes only.
Yeah, and I do like hammers, so the hammer meme is also fine.
Well, that's just you putting yourself in a box. Break out of that. The world's your
like
oyster.
Break the box with the hammer. There you go.
They can't do nothing. I can break it from the outside. I can break it from the inside. They can't do anything.
Let's whet the people's appetite before we land this plane. What can the people expect from team community management in the future?
I was about to say something. Less land, more badges, and hammering. No, I'm just kidding. No. You can. So we are. I'll take the lead here. So we are more or less still thinking in a way that we are building the foundation here. So we are massive already. Like, we have a good community. We have a really large good community, and we have building on a lot of stuff. But even though we are growing and we are pretty big for a community in this stage, actually, I don't know if it's unprecedented, but it's really, really big community at this stage. But we are still building the foundation. That's how Catherine and I promised to look at it, like, to each other. Like, we have the time now to build the foundation, and we are still looking at it at a way where it's fine. We have growth, but we don't focus on the growth right now. At least it's a different kind of growth, right? We focus on. Then it become all kind of philosophical and spiritual. It's a different kind of growth. It's the inside growth. No, we focus on the foundation, the community, the pillars of the community, things that we can build now, that we can maintain now and update now, that is getting difficult later on. And we still see that as our main focus right now. Because then later, when we really need to accelerate the growth, because believe me, this is just the beginning, it will be way easier for us, right? So we're not standing still, we're not stopping establishing things that we've also talked about, or creating new things, but we do primarily look at it like, let's fix all the things in the foundation. Let's maybe not even fix it, but improve it, right? And let's prepare for the future.
Yeah, because like I said, we don't there were already a community when we got here, and we have made a few small adjustments here and there, but we have not broken down the foundation, what you guys already have, because considering where you are and considering where we are, like there's so much potential. There's so many good people here that we don't want to pick that apart. But like Thor said, we want to help improve that. We want to help bring out even more of that. We want to show everyone, look at this amazing community we have where everyone is welcome, everyone can participate. You can ask questions, you can have fun with your friends, you can join these small events, whether it are Thanapus Cup or another event we have going on. Everyone is welcome and you can be here and just be who you are. And you can grow as part of, this community with being, a hero or a helper and, in the end, be part of the mod team. If everyone has, the wanting and the ability to help and be part of something, they are welcome to it.
More than welcome. And beside fostering communities, it's also like we want to build the best Discord. There's no juggling around and circling around. We just want to build the best Discord, the best Discord server, and we don't want us being a free-to-play game that has NFT elements to it. We don't want to use that in any kind of excuse for not having the best Discord. Like we're gonna have the best Discord server, and we're also taking the time to build the best platform across all the other platforms, Telegram, Reddit. We want to encompass all of it. Of course, Discord is planned to maintain being our main community platform, but we want to have this both moderation-wise and community-wise integration across the platforms. We don't want to forget anything. We want to build them together with like Discord as a nexus, like a hub tethering to the rest of them. And we want to build the best Discord. It's like the game. I remember Lauren inspired me early on saying, and you've maybe also said a couple of times, Fedlins, this is about, you can play Ember Sword, and if you don't care about the crypto element of it, it's still going to be the best game you're going to play. And if you care about the crypto element of it, then it's still going to be the best game you've played. You can approach it from multiple angles. You can approach it because you want to play it because of the amazing NFT elements of it, but you can also, because you can't pay to win, right? You can also approach it for an element of like, I don't even know what it is. I might get introduced to it, but the game standalone is just the best. That's what we want, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the same we want for the Discord community. Like the crypto and the NFT elements of the Discord community is something that we are going to accommodate, but it's not something that we want to be thrown in their face of the community if they don't want it. Yeah. So it's about building this community where, more important than ever in possibly any community, it is so important to have these sub-communities within the community. And they shouldn't be hidden away, but they also shouldn't be in your face if you don't want them. Mm-hmm. So it's this constant, I wouldn't say struggle, I would more say like this constant... Act. Exactly, it's this juggling act. And we haven't got it right yet, but we are approaching. And it's going to be a continuous juggling, I think, because, life is a continuous juggle. So I'm full of it today.
I can isolate like all of what you say and just put it on a self-help tape, and we're going to sell it like gangbusters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, respect for all the sub-communities, but it is this juggle, right? It is this not in your face if you don't want it, but also not hidden away. And that's what we're trying to build.
Very inspirational. That's...
I mean, he's not the game master for nothing, right?
Right. I'm struggling to think what to say after that. That was very, very, very beautifully put. And at this point, I cannot believe somebody hasn't taken me saying that every goddamn podcast ending and turn it into something, but I'm sure somebody out there is going to drag this out at some point. Anyway, this is not about me at all. This is the end of the podcast. I'm continuously grateful for the two of you, if I can be sappily real for a moment. Before you guys came along, there were so many things that were just impossible to do without somebody to be able to take the reins and like lead the community in a direction that is great. And I'm so happy that you guys have become such a vital part of the company, that you've integrated yourself so well, and you're doing such a fantastic job. So I'm really happy that you have such like great plans and such a great outlook, both of you, as to what the community can become and what the game can be and how you can synergize those two. So it's very inspiring to hear that, we're definitely headed in the right direction as it comes to, an approach to community, an approach to making the game. Everything's firing in all cylinders and everything's going in the same direction. And that is a great thing to hear. So, thank you to the both of you.
Well, thank you. That is so sweet. Now I'm getting all emotional.
Yeah.
This happens every time.
Thank you.
Thanks to the both of you for participating in the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And we're going to catch you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey you made it to the end. Congratulations! That must mean you like us enough to want more, right? Well, good news! We're all over the internet. Go to embersword.com and subscribe to our newsletter for a chance to play the game early, as well as the latest interesting tidbits on the game and the team. Join our lovely Discord community over at discord.gg/embersword. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at PlayEmbersword for regular updates on what we're up to. And remember the basics. Drink water, be kind to each other, and spread the word about Ember Sword.